Hi there, and welcome to this week's Inbound Debate. Now, recently there's been a lot of debate around the topic of Facebook advertising. On the one hand, there seems to be a growing number of people questioning the value of it, and in particular questioning the legitimacy of those Facebook fans that are acquired through Facebook advertising. On the other hand, there's still an awful lot of businesses that actually argue that when it comes to raising the profile of their brands online, and even in some cases using it as a direct route to market, a direct sales channel, that actually nothing else compares. So, I'm going to pass over to Martin and Nick, who will each be representing these very conflicting sides of the arguments. Nick's up first.
Okay, so today we're talking about Facebook advertising and why every business should be advertising to some extent on Facebook. I don't believe that to be the case at all. I think it's very specific as to who should be advertising on Facebook, and I'll go into that now. ROI is one of the biggest issues. It's very elusive to actually see what your ROI from a Facebook spend is. Okay, it's not always the case, but if we look at some of these, you've got paying for page likes, where you pay to put your page in front of other visitors. You've got paying for clicks to your website, so similar way to how AdWords works. Then you've got paying for app downloads and installations. So, I mean, for those last two, they're kind of measurable. You can measure, how much you're getting back when someone downloads your app, or you can measure if you're an e-commerce site, is someone buying something online after visiting you from Facebook, or if you're a brochure site, are you tracking your phone calls and inquiry forms and that kind of thing. When it comes to page likes, you're really in a bit of a kind of finger to the wind situation. You spend £10 and you get 20 likes back. Is that actually, providing ROI? Okay, it was only £10, but then if you start scaling that up, like you should be with all advertising spend, if it's working, you should be scaling it up. And then you get to £1,000 on spend, and you're getting 2,000 likes back. You probably start to doubt, whether or not that is actually bringing in a return. And to be completely honest, at best, it's unclear. Then you also have the fact that Facebook advertising just simply isn't for every business. Just like AdWords isn't for every business, there's certain businesses out there that just wouldn't get anything back. So for example, if I was running a manufacturing business selling expensive machinery, tens of thousands of pounds, I might get an assisted conversion from Facebook once in a while, but in terms of getting an actual ROI that's measurable, I just don't think Facebook's ever going to come close to helping. Now, that's not to say in some time, we might actually get more targeted Facebook advertising, and I could find those 50 or so businesses that would be interested in my products, but as it stands, it just would be a non-starter. You then got the visibility and brand awareness issue, where a lot of people are saying, Facebook's really cheap right now. You can get a lot of impressions, and it doesn't cost you a great deal. 10,000 impressions without any clicks to your website is worth next to nothing, and that's pretty much a fact. Impressions are great to some extent, but they're really for the big hitters that are getting hundreds of thousands of impressions, and these people are really actually getting some visibility. But to say that every business should be excited about 3,000 or 4,000 impressions to their website, it's not going to be of any value unless they get the clicks or the likes. And then finally, you've got these fake likes. So there's been a bit of an alleged scandal in Facebook where there's been a lot of Facebook fraud, where businesses in Southeast Asia have set up to supply this growing demand for buying likes on Facebook. So what they do is they set up loads of fake users, and they'll like your page for $5 for 1,000 likes or something like that. And what they're doing is, to avoid being banned by Facebook, they're having to legitimize their profiles. So they're getting their users and just faking likes on different pages to look like they're actually active and they've got actual interests. And these fake users are then getting thrown into your advertising spend. So, if you're paying for likes, you might be paying for some fake likes that didn't even exist, and what you think about ROI is then actually skewed hugely, and there's a lot of noise, and it's just really difficult to actually discern. So for those reasons, I really don't think Facebook advertising is for every business. There's an opportunity out there for some, but it's just not about going in there blind and just spending money, because you're not going to see an ROI.
Hi, I'm Martin, Inbound's Director of Business Development, and today I'm going to be answering the question, should every company use Facebook ads, with a big fat yes. So why do I say this? Well, every business needs to do marketing. So therefore, in my opinion, every business should use Facebook ads. Now, why do I say this? Well, if you disagree with me, the question I ask is, would you spend £50 to allow your business to see if your business could take advantage of the biggest marketing opportunity ever? I think generally the answer to that question has to be yes. So that's why I think you should use Facebook advertising, and every business should, because Facebook ads are the biggest marketing opportunity ever, and they're a complete game changer in terms of advertising. Why do I say this? 3 major reasons. The first one, Facebook ads are unbelievably affordable. For a very, very small budget, you can have an impact. Secondly, there's no commitment, so you can try it, you're not tied into any contracts, etc. So you can try it for a small budget, there's no commitment to spend any more. The third thing is they're extremely targeted. You can target anywhere in the world by age, gender, interest. So it's an incredibly targeted way of getting your message in front of the customers you want to get in front of. The other thing which I think is incredibly game-changing and quite breathtaking about Facebook advertising, you can use it to reach as many people as, for example, TV and radio advertising combined for a fraction of the cost anywhere in the world. So I could be sat in our office in Leicester and reach people the other side of the world at the click of a button. Put it in context, Facebook advertising costs less than 1% of TV advertising, and that's relevant not only because of the cost, but also because of the accessibility, because this opportunity is open to any business of any size. So if you spent £5 a week on Facebook advertising, you reach thousands of people, which is incredibly impressive. Not only is that impressive in the sense that you could get some potential customers, but even if you don't, what it also does is raises brand awareness. It puts your brand in front of thousands of people a week, and we all know that the importance of brand awareness is growing both online and offline, and every business should be shouting about what it's doing. So my challenge to you guys, if you disagree with me on this, I dare you to try Facebook advertising and then still not agree with me.
So thank you, Nick and Martin. I think some really valid, very strong points made by both camps there. On balance, however, while I think Nick made some really, really valid observations about Facebook advertising, and I certainly agree that you have to approach it with a degree of caution, a degree of skepticism almost, I think being the optimist that I am, I'm going to have to side with Martin, particularly as it was his first time joining us in the debate. What I will add though is that before you spend any amount of advertising or even time on Facebook, you need to understand why you're doing it in the first place. Is it for brand awareness? Is it as a direct sales channel? Or are there secondary, almost kind of peripheral benefits you need to take into account, such as recruitment or maybe really reinforcing your cultural values perhaps? I think without understanding first of all why you're doing it, everything that follows, whether that's organic or advertising based, is always going to be a waste of time and money. So anyway, thank you Martin and Nick. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you found it useful, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.